All right, let's talk about those Twins, shall we? Twins win the series yesterday versus the Mariners. They've now won 2 of 3 from the Rays, 2 of 3 from the Mariners. Starting to heat up a little bit, find their footing here as we get into the thick of the summer, 2.5 months into the MLB season. Sonny Gray makes his long-awaited appearance. He comes back, pitches a gem, 5 innings pitched, just a 3-hitter, 3 Ks, no walks, no earned runs. Twins win 5-0. Luis Arraez 1 for 3 with a walk, 2 RBIs. Carlos Correa with an RBI. Ryan Jeffers with an RBI. Twins win 5 rips. Again, starting to find their footing a little bit. If they can just keep winning 2 of 3 every time, oh my God, you'll take that all day, won't you, Reg?
Absolutely, especially, they got a little bit of revenge from the Mariners who kind of beat up on them in that first series of the season, kind of beat up on Sonny Gray a little bit in that first series of the season. And, most people expected the Mariners to be really good this year with, some of the moves that they got, especially, getting Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez from the Reds. And, Suarez did hit a 2-run bomb against Joe Ryan the other night. And you're just like, okay, but Winker didn't even play yesterday. And you're just like, wow, okay. All right, well, let's beat up on these Mariners then. I said on the sportscast last night at CARE, due to them what was done to me. They got beat 5-0 on Monday, and then Tuesday they come back. No, I'm sorry, on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday they come back and beat them 5-0. It's just like, all right, here we go. It's funny because we saw a lot of like 1 for 3, 1 for 4, 1 for 5 in the lineup yesterday, but they were making those hits count when it mattered most, and they were able to, get those 5 runs. Look, I kind of cautioned myself to like temper my expectations, and I was telling everybody else in Caroland to do the same because Joe Ryan came back after an extended absence and got roughed up a little bit, and then Sonny Gray came back, and so much hype was around like, oh man, like the Twins, they did what they had to do, and now bring in the reinforcements. Here we go. So Joe Ryan's back, Sonny Gray is back. Oh, man. And then Joe Ryan's like, boom, boom, boom. You're like, oh, wait, maybe we need to chill a little bit, let him get his feet set a little bit more. Let's temper the expectations with Sonny, too. Sonny's like, no, I'm good. I'm going to mow everybody down. 3 hits, scattered, 3K, 5 strong innings, no runs. It's all good. I got this, guys. I'm a vet. I got this. It's all good. I was talking to one of my teammates last night, and we were just talking about how the Twins are maybe like 1 or 2 good starting arms away from just being an elite pitching staff. When Joe Ryan and Sonny Gray are not like the first and second option in that rotation, like how scary of a rotation could it be if they went out and took a swing at a guy that, is an ace type material, 1 or 2 of those pitchers. And it's funny because, there's going to be a decision to be made about Carlos Correa coming up. And you're like, what do you do? Well, if his money comes off the books, I think they go swing for a starting pitcher. And maybe they try to strike a deal for one at the deadline, knowing that, this deal with Correa is up in the air, whether or not he stays or goes. And I think he's enjoying himself with the Twins so far. They're winning, so that's a reason enough to enjoy. His batting average is up over 300 now, so that's great. Even with the 1 for 4, 1 for 5 yesterday that he did. And I think that's pretty exciting when you talk about the Twins, seeing them in first place, several games ahead of the Guardians, and the pitching hasn't necessarily been the greatest. You're like, man, we can get behind this. But I think there was some article that my guy Andy was reading that really, it's still at this point had the White Sox winning the division. And I think it's because like they don't necessarily trust this Twins pitching to hold up. You got guys like Devin Smeltzer who've been pretty much a darling, this season, going out and pitching gems. You're just like, well, how long is that going to last? I think most people have been kind of waiting for that other shoe to drop, and maybe it will never drop. Maybe it'll drop later. maybe it'll just be what we've seen where, they'll come out, they'll have some good outings, and then every so often there'll be some bad outings again. But you take these wins, you hope that they keep stacking them as much as they can with this series, coming up. And you're just like, let's see what we can do. Let's see what happens. Diamondbacks coming up, and it's just like, that's another opportunity to beat up on a team that they should be able to win against, because they have been beating teams like this. They've been beating greater teams than this, over the last several weeks. And so I think it's very encouraging seeing what they did yesterday, blanking a team after you get blanked. The resiliency of this team just seems to be at an all-time high. No matter how bad it looks at any point this season, they've been able to come back, bounce back, and respond well to some bad performances. They don't let those things linger at all, and they come back and they bounce back with good games, and that's encouraging to see as they move forward to the season. But still so much season left.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. I think White Sox fans and fans of the AL Central, they want to know if the White Sox are going to make one of these blockbuster deals at the trade deadline, because this was supposed to be the year. This is supposed to be it. And they're still in the hunt. I mean, this thing's not over by a long shot. You got a 73-year-old manager in Tony La Russa. You got an 84-year-old owner. This was supposed to be the year, and kind of a weaker division when you look at the landscape of the MLB. In this AL Central, you go get one or two studs here at the deadline, and then, boom, you can make a push. We see it happen in the second half of the season every year in the MLB. So I'm going to keep tabs on that. ESPN's latest MLB power rankings were released. The Minnesota Twins staying at 11th with 4 AL teams ahead of them. The Yankees, Blue Jays, Astros, and Rays. Now, the Guardians are now just 4 spots back from the Twins after heating up now these past 2-3 weeks. What does it mean for the Twins' chances to stay atop the AL Central? Do they have, the talent to make a push past any of those 4 other teams? I mean, here's the thing. Here's what we know. The Twins are good. You said it a couple days ago. Maybe the Twins are just good. They're just a good team. And when they get healthy, they could be a great team. But can they make a push past any of these other top teams in the AL? Yankees, Astros, Rays, or Blue Jays? Are they on that level, that tier 1?
The bats are, for sure. I mean, we saw it in the last several series. I mean, they hit with the Yankees. They call them the Bronx Bombers, but the Twins were hitting bombs too. And I think that is what you see that's encouraging from this unit, and is what you kind of expected coming into the season after they went out and swung for Carlos Correa, and then you kind of saw how some of these other guys were coming on, Royce Lewis, Jose Miranda, slugging jacks out of the yard, Gary Sanchez heating up. I think the sky's the limit when it comes to the bats. But in that same regard, they can only keep up with these top tier teams like the Yankees and, all those guys if the pitching is there. And I think the Twins at the deadline should go out and get another arm of some sort. They were in good shape with Chris Paddock, but now he's on the shelf. They're not going to get Kenta Maeda back for a while, probably until the end of the season, if he even comes back this year. And so they need another good arm. But the problem is they have no leverage in this situation. And so now it's a case of okay, well, who are you going to give up to get this elite arm? Do you stand pat and just hope and pray that guys like, Ryan, Gray, Ober, Bundy, guys like that, Archer, are going to continue to help you. Smeltzer are going to continue to be at the level that keeps you atop the division, or at least fighting for a playoff spot. Because if you're just going to be good with standing pat there, then maybe you take a swing in the offseason where you don't have to give up any of those prospects. But I think in order for the Twins to really compete for a championship this year, I think they need to go out and get another arm. But who they give up to do that, that's the tough part of the equation.
Every team in all of sports, they all deal with injuries, right? But the Twins, nobody's dealt with more injuries than the Twins. I think it was 24 players were on the injured report at one point or another already this season, most in the MLB. And I think it just stings a little bit for fans when you say, if the Twins just had one or two more good arms, and you think, we have Kenta Maeda, we have Chris Paddock, but man, loss for the season, that hurts. Although, sounds like if the Twins were to go deep in the postseason, Kenta Maeda might be able to, I don't know, come back and maybe contribute just a little bit. He's starting to throw
nice
on the mound. That would be very nice. Twins get a day off today. They stay on the West Coast, 3 with the Diamondbacks. Devin Smeltzer versus Madison Bumgarner on the mound. That pitch, 8:40 p.m., another late start. Well, I'm sure we'll recap all that action come Monday morning here on Superior Sports Talk.